Vincent.
Hi Arne. Obviously a Rafinha goal, I think 90 plus 6 minutes means that you haven't sealed top spot in the standings, but you are through to the last 16, so how much satisfaction do you take from that, from the performance, the work rate as well, that got you 7 wins from 7 in the Champions League?
Let's start with a compliment for the referee in Lisbon. Because for the times I've worked in football, I saw 4 minutes of extra time, and then there was 3 minutes of time delaying, and then at 4 minutes the referee blew his whistle. But this referee kept on playing for a while, so maybe that was not in our advantage this time. But I like to see these things. For the rest, it doesn't tell me anything, because if in tennis you are number 1 seeded, you know it's always better to face the number 24 than to face the number 8 or the number 12. Because this is a ranking that is done for years, but now we are in a new format where some teams are high in the league table because they had a lucky draw, or some teams are low because they had a very difficult draw. So it's far off to say that it's an advantage to be 1 or 2. We still don't know yet if that's an advantage or not. You might be lucky, you might be very unlucky, and ending up 8 can mean that you are maybe lucky. So. For me, it doesn't tell me anything. What for me is the most important thing for tonight is that we've managed to skip around, and that is definitely worth a bit.
The performance and the work rate that you saw tonight?
Yeah, like I would say, like I'm used to from these players. What maybe today was asked a bit more from them, that they had to be patient, because the reason why Lille has done so well, 21 games unbeaten, and the teams they've beaten in the Champions League, is, without any disrespect at all, but they don't have the best players in the world. They have very good players, but they don't have the best players in the world. And then to be able to do so well tells you how disciplined they are, how hard they want to work, how well the manager does over there. So and we were not starting to force, because they are really compact and defended really well, and we didn't force a pass. We just kept the ball for as long as we could. The only thing I wasn't happy about is that, no, not for the first time in recent weeks, it was 1 chance for the other team and a goal. And yeah, but that's maybe the phase in the season we are in at the moment.
And what more can you say about Mo Salah, the first Liverpool player to get to 50 goals in Europe?
Special is, I think, the word that describes most performance at this club. The best, or maybe there are even better words to use, but he's been outstanding for this club for so many years, and still he does. Today, great goal. If Mo goes on a 1v1, there's a serious chance that he's going to score. But this goal we scored probably tells you a lot about why we are top of the league and why we are doing so well, because the work rate from the players that won the ball back before Curtis gave the great pass towards Mo tells you also why we are doing really well.
Can I just check? Curtis, I take it, was an injury, and all the other substitutions, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Diaz and Connor, was more about managing workloads, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, the idea was to take Dome off and Ryan off at half-time. But Curtis unfortunately couldn't continue, so that's why Dome stayed a bit longer. And Connor, the idea was to play him 90, but in the end you could see that it got more tough and tough for him in terms of load. So you don't want to take the risk of him getting injured in the last few minutes like it happened against Madrid. So we wanted to win this game, but we were also aware of the fact that we had to manage the load, because we would have been really unlucky if we would have lost twice and still not be in the top 8. And as we know now, I think 18 points would have been enough to play top 8, but now with 21 there's no discussion anymore. Sorry? There was a moment in the game what he felt, and he said let's play for 5 more minutes and let's then see how it is. But he said he had to go off at half-time.
Richard?
Richard? Arne, you conceded a goal tonight, but before then you set a record for the longest Liverpool have gone in Europe without conceding. How pleased are you, and what do you put that down to?
Very pleased. Where I put everything down to, first of all, quality of the players. Second of all, these quality players have an incredible work rate. And if you combine those two things, it's very difficult to score against the team. And apart from that, there were also games. I think when I look back at Girona, for example, they created quite a bit of chances. Alisson was fantastic back then. So the nice thing for me is that we keep clean sheets not by defending a lot. We keep clean sheets by attacking a lot, and that makes it even more nice than if we are all the time in a low block, kicking every ball away, don't take any risk in build up, and then keep a clean sheet. Still nice, but I prefer it like this, and I think the fans prefer it like this as well.
Sure, I think it's what have we won? 7 out of 7 now. Yeah. Mo Salah with the first goal. These were complaining a little bit about a free kick, but Tsimikas, who's come in for the last couple of games, there's a debate about him playing ahead of Andy Robertson at the moment, but it's a fantastic finish from Mo Salah. He's gone sort of 2 or 3 games without a goal, so you know there's a goal coming. And what was really important here for Liverpool wasn't just about qualifying, it was about making sure the fact that they have quality. It means like the next game they don't really have to play anybody, they can really rest a lot of the team, because obviously we know that in the race for the league title they've got a really important game away at Bournemouth next weekend. But this made it a little bit nervous. Jonathan David got a really good reputation, couldn't really miss in that situation. And then what was really important as well at the weekend was Liverpool won the game from the substitutes bench, and they've done it again. And I just think Arne Slot's starting to trust his squad a little bit more. We're seeing Harvey Elliott at the weekend coming on here. He gets the goal, so maybe he's starting to trust his squad a little bit more than he did in the first half of the season. I think that's going to be really important in the second half of the season.
Gonna win it?
You know what?
I just think, you know, that's one of the things that, if obviously you're a Liverpool fan, if you're not, one of the things that can be worrying for anyone that will not be a Liverpool fan is the intensity that they have. So even when they go about winning games or not, it's very difficult to score against them. They have a control about it. And I will go back to what Slot said to make another point about what I said. When they won in Girona, what did he say at the end of the game? He wasn't happy. Wasn't happy about the intensity. He let the other team have too many chances. Yeah, that's what our coach will think. And this is why Liverpool are at the top right now, and also in the Premier League, because they're relentless about what they do.
You know, one thing you just said about next week, January 29th, you said you don't necessarily now have to play your top team because you already know that you're through. Is top 8 enough for Liverpool, or do you go into next weekend thinking we want to finish? Because you're not guaranteed.
Top 2, Kate. No.
Are they guaranteed top 2?
Karen, yeah, just keep up.
Jamie, come on!
Why did nobody tell me that?
I know. I mean,
anyway, let's change the subject.
Salah. Do you have to be continually spoon-fed by the producer about what is going on this show? Honestly,
Salah. You've not talked about Salah. Do you give him what he wants now, or what?
You know what? If I knew what he wanted, I could then say.
Okay.
He can have what he wants.
Well, let's not get into that. Let's move on.
Well, you know him. You played with him, didn't you?
Yeah, we're mates.
DM him.
I will do.
Were you his driver in Fiorentina?
Oh, my God.
No, I heard that.
Yes, I was his driver.
Driver?
He didn't drive in Florence, and I did take him, yeah.
Where would you go?
To training.
Wow.
What do we do? Of course I know him.
Mo, well done. Another win. And tonight, history for you. First Liverpool player to 50 goals in Europe.
Hopefully not the last one, but something I'm very happy and proud about it, and also especially because we won the game, so that's the most important thing.
Were you aware of that particular record, the 50?
I'm not sure.
You've broken so many.
No, I wasn't focused about it before the game, to be fair.
What were you needed? What did you need to do in that first half in particular? Because Lille made it difficult, didn't they, with their defensive press for the first sort of half an hour or so?
It's also attacking, to be fair. They have a really good game plan. I think they were unbeaten for 21 games, so it's a quite tough team. And they showed that also for first half and second half. So I will give them credit, but I'm glad that we managed to win the game.
For your goal, you went direct, didn't you? It seemed as though that was the best way to beat that press.
Yeah. We get the ball. I think we recovered the ball from them, and Curtis have buzzed the ball very well finally. And I managed to score.
Did you switch off a little bit when Lille went to 10 men?
Yeah, I think so. Not switched off, but I think they went for counter-attack and they managed to score. It's a little bit disappointed about it because also the clean sheet is very important for us and for our defensive line. So, yeah, I think the manager will speak about it. So, yeah, let's see.
And Harvey Elliott with the winner, his first goal in the Champions League in 3 years. A big moment for him.
Yeah, especially because he was injured in the beginning of the season and came back. It's quite tough also with the guys in the midfield, but I'm happy for him. I'm always there to help him, and he's a great lad and always try to give his best. When he come like sometime 5 minutes, sometime today he had 45 minutes. He was great, so I'm happy for him.
You need that strength in depth, don't you? That competition for places. It's a real strength.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you win, when you want to win a big tournament, you have to have a big squad. So we have a good one at the moment. So hopefully we carry on like that.
The first winners of the Champions League phase, you are. You don't get a trophy for that. But how does this squad compare to the team that won the Champions League that you played in 6 years ago now?
It's a different manager and different players. We have like 3, 4, 5, 6 left from that squad. But I think we have a good talented players working very hard. The manager also have a good idea. So we just give it a try and we'll see.
50 goals in the Champions League for Liverpool. Can you hang around long enough for another 50?
I'm not sure about that, but I will give it my best.
Player of the match again.
Thank you.
Bit of history, Mo. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Obligatory contract question at the end there, couch in kind terms. You liked the second last question there. What was that about? Comparing the great Liverpool teams.
Yeah, exactly. That front three for me now, Salah and Mane, of course, you know, Henderson, Wijnaldum, Fabinho at their very best. I give that team the edge, to be honest with you, over this present Liverpool team.
Wait and see if they do the quadruple. You were giving them the quadruple earlier on.
Yeah.
No,
you're saying
not
that
quadruple, I don't think.
Make your mind up.
Second half, it was Mo Salah got them in front in the first half. Second half, looked like they'd probably start coasting once the red card happened to Mandy early enough on in it there. You can have a look at it.
Dropped the line in.
Yeah, Gary got the line in, all right. But what about this, the second yellow?
Yeah, I mean, Mandy, you know, when you're on a yellow card, it's a crazy tackle. You know, it's a really good ball. Obviously, Diaz is through and he thinks he's got no other option but to take him down. But when you're on a yellow card, you just got to hope that one of your centre halves is going to come across and bail you out. You're away from home, you're at Anfield. And don't forget, it's a big night for them as well. They had to get something from the game. They're on the verge of just missing out on the automatic as well. So, yeah, it's a poor decision for
you probably would expect that's almost half an hour, more than half an hour to go. Actually, you'd be thinking Liverpool would push on and probably put a few goals on the board at that stage, right?
Well, you would think so, and actually, Lille got their noses, equal after that. You think Liverpool had a man sent off because I don't know, they just sort of dropped off it a bit. Liverpool for 10 minutes after this.
Your man Kenny Jonathan David finally repaid your faith.
Yeah, I won't go overboard. It was a decent enough finish. Don't think Liverpool, I'm going to point the finger at Tsimikas here in the left-back position. I think he should hold his ground. He makes the decision there to drop into the 6-yard box, almost in front of Alisson. He almost obscures Alisson. This is an easy save for the Liverpool goalkeeper. Have a look at him. He steps in there. That opens up the space for David then to step onto the ball and put it into the back of the net. I understand it to an extent, the defender. You want to defend your goal. But in that situation, the best decision for me is for him to stay outside of the 6-yard box and in contact with David and let the goalkeeper deal with that, which Alisson definitely would have.
Okay, but just on that, right, if you're in that situation as a defender and you hang back, right, and Haraldson, the Lille player, smacks it into the top corner, actually catches it really well, do you look like a mug for not coming out and trying to block the shot?
Yeah, I understand there will be there will be times when you'll drop in there and you'll kick one off the line, but experience tells you over the years, the law of averages suggests, yeah, exactly. And each situation is kind of different. You just have to get a bit of a sense or read very quickly. Experience tells you that. And in that situation, even as soon as I saw Tsimikas' reaction take him towards the goal, I was thinking, probably the wrong decision.
What do you think as a goalkeeper in that scenario? You're happy enough to say, listen, I'll save it?
Well, yeah, I think there's a couple of angles Alisson was looking at him after as well, actually.
Right.
When you look at it close, because Kenny was looking at the fullback and I was actually looking at Alisson, and he's looking up at him going, you've actually killed me there, because I think it was going to be a comfortable save, and if Tsimikas had kept his position as well, he would have been closer to actually getting a block on the shot as well. So I'm sure Alisson's frustrated. He's a top goalkeeper. He wants to keep clean sheets.
Yeah, I didn't see Queeveen concede any goals in the Champions League this year.
I wish it was that simple. But actually, we did feel that Queeveen might have started tonight, because Liverpool sitting top and could have given Alisson the night off. But he went strong.
It's the problem with the keeper situation. You can never just take a goalkeeper off after 70 minutes and give him even 20 minutes or whatever it might be. But what was the story? What do you think the situation was? The Liverpool mindset at that stage, the fact that they were a man up and conceded a goal like that, we're all surprised to see it.
Yeah, I don't think it was a massive. I think it's too easy to say, massive drop-off, got kind of cautious in their approach. I don't think that was the case. Decent build-up down the left-hand side. Just goes to show you, just put any type of ball into the penalty box, anything can happen. You can cause a little bit of panic. But no, I think Liverpool recovered well, and like I said, it never felt as if Liverpool were on the back foot and the second goal was coming. I thought they kind of dictated the game pretty well after that, as they have done most of the season. They found themselves in these situations numerous times this season during the game, lost the impetus, found themselves on the back foot, but they never tend to panic, even if they concede occasionally. You know, they don't panic, they kind of trust their defensive structure, not just the defensive structure, but their ability to get hold of the ball then and dictate and really kill games. This is what I'm talking about. We're used to Jurgen Klopp, heavy metal, go for 90 minutes. Got to roll, but this is different. This is a different animal now. It's
been said all along, we'll have to see how they handle adversity, but maybe we've seen it over the last few weeks. They've been in a few sticky situations. They haven't always got the wins, but they haven't been getting beaten either. They got the win against Brentford at the weekend.
Yeah.
Are we actually seeing the bit of adversity that they're going to face and that they can handle it?
Yeah, I didn't buy into the argument that they're having a wobble even up until the game. We spoke about it kind of Saturday.
The wobble still to come, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't think necessarily it will come. Listen, I've got a lot of confidence in this team. They're in a great position. That's what I'm talking up and saying.
Normally there's a bit of a, there's a wobble. Even Man City, the great teams that have won the Premier League 4, they've had a dip. They've had a part of the season. Like, it'd be interesting to. All I'm saying is, it'll be interesting to see if that happens and how they react and how they respond.
We are
but
in late January at this stage is the only thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But they dip during games in terms of, like, there is drop off in terms. They're always on the front. They drop off. They give the team a ball to the opposition. You can say, well, they're looking a little bit out of sorts, but they keep their concentration. They don't panic. They stay in games, and invariably they find those kind of moments or periods during games where they just take the game away from opposition teams.
It's been the substitutes in recent weeks that have done the business. Everybody that Arne Slot puts on the pitch seems to make an impact. It was Harvey Elliott today.
Yeah, I mean, Harvey was brilliant. Again, he done great at the weekend against Brentford. We spoke about it after the game. He was involved in 2 of the goals of the weekend as well. But again, if any young kids watching him, he's driving to get into the box. He's never stand still. He's always busy. As Kenny said before, he's a clever player. He finds space in areas that, just little simple passes and stuff. In the pockets, he picks up. See that one touch? He's got a vision in his head before the ball even comes to him where the ball's going to end up. And if Darwin just lifts that over the keeper, it's another goal. So again, not happy just pass, but pass and move. What's the next pass? That's where the red card comes from a brilliant forward pass from Harvey Elliott. And again, he gets his rewards with his goal again, but keeps the ball moving. I know Kenny says he's not the quickest, he's not the sharpest over the ground, but he's sharp in the head. And he's quick in making decision making. You just see him here in the left hand side of the picture, keeps out of the way. Yeah, he gets a bit of luck. There's a deflection off Macau on the way through, I think, but he keeps it down. He gets his knee over the ball and a really good connection, and it does get a bit of luck. But I was really impressed with him actually when he came on tonight.
He's always positive. He's always looking to play forward. Never takes the easy option too often, that sideways or backwards pass, which we see a lot of now in modern football. Always looking forward, always looking to take an element of risk with his passing, but invariably it pays off.
Don't know what he's alluding to there in terms of the talk, and it seems like every second celebration these days I see is people saying that they're being talked about.
Kenny's talking too much about him.
It could be. Kenny's often talking too much.
Generally.
I'm always asking the questions, yeah. But obviously everyone's talking about the big 3 who are out of contract. There are other players. He's one of them who, as Rob says, has been linked with a move away. I've heard Brighton mentioned, Borussia Dortmund as well. Would you, if you're Harvey Elliott, be looking to move out of Liverpool at the moment?
I wouldn't. Reading between the lines, it looks as if he doesn't want to. He's totally committed to the football club. He's ambitious to kind of prove himself and forge a career at Liverpool Football Club. So that's great to hear. And from Liverpool's point of view, I think you want to keep him as well. Like I said, I'm not sure he's a guaranteed starter week in, week out for the next kind of 2 to 4 years. But for me, he's absolutely invaluable. The cameo that we saw this evening and what we've seen from him previously, his versatility in terms of positions that he can play around the pitch, and looks a good skin as well in terms of personality to have around the dressing room. So he's ticking a lot of boxes there in terms of getting a new contract. I think he'll be one to sign a new contract pretty quickly.
That's one you need as well, isn't it? That sort of player who can slot in like that and bring you something off the bench.
Versatile, and I think Mo Salah mentioned him as well. I think he's key to learn off the likes of Mo Salah and the more experienced players at the club. I mean, you talk about players leaving Liverpool. I don't think any player wants to leave Liverpool right now. I really don't.
Trent?
I would include Trent in that. I would include Carragher. I would include.
You don't think Trent actually wants to leave?
Not in this month window. No. If I'm Trent Alexander-Arnold, I'm sitting top of the league, got a chance at the Champions League to win the Champions League. Yeah. You could go out with, as Kenny said before the show, the quadruple, and then there's an open top bus around Liverpool.
I'd be waiting until the summer for Trent as well, though.
I'm genuinely being serious because. These opportunities to win the Premier League. We've seen Liverpool win it a few years ago in front of an empty stadium. Imagine lifting the trophy in front of a full Anfield and the atmosphere that great. maybe even a double or a treble. They've got big things on the horizon.
Shay's right. There's history to be made here. So regardless whether it's Van Dijk, Salah, what's your intention? If you're going to sign, if you're not, these next 4 or 5 months, or Trent, I'd include in that as well. You've got to give it everything, your all. This could potentially be history in the making. 3, 4 trophies in the season, 4 trophies in the season. Never been done before. You've got a chance to be perfect. That's actually obtainable. You know, it's within reach. You know, you must want to be part of that. Contract negotiations, where you're going to go in 4 or 5 months, forget it. Park all of that. Just focus what's ahead of you.
I think they can. Can they? Even Alexander Arnold, who looks like the most likely to leave, even if it's in his head, I'm gone, he can surely focus for the next 6 months regardless. I know there could be issues if the crowd know that he's leaving, and maybe there might be a bit of hostility, but that aside, he should have the professionalism.
The only thing about Trent, because he's a human being, people forget like he's a footballer and he wants to leave Liverpool, and they get all hyped up. He should be a Liverpool lad. He should stay there forever. Be committed and loyal to the football club. But he's a human being as well, and for whatever reason in my head, I think he wants to leave. And he's talked a few months ago about getting the Ballon d'Or, and probably in his head he thinks I can only get that. No, that's Kenny. He was really assisted in both for them. Every time I see him play, a lot of times, to be fair to him, is off the bench, but he always seems to come on when he prove a point. Watching him, he always seems to be moving. And he's always looking for a bit of space. He's always checking his shoulders. He's always trying to find the pockets. And for me, he was probably one of the best players tonight for Liverpool.
I think it suits him, this style of play under Arne Slot. Slower pace, tempo, more technical build-up, patient build-up. That kind of suits him.
Yeah.
He's not the greatest athlete. He's not the quickest over the ground, but he's smart. He can play in the half-turn, and he can play in those little pockets, 1-2 touch. He can find an incisive pass. So the way I think Slot's setting up the team this year, like we're saying, slower pace, more possession, more kind of technical in terms of their build-up. I think he's one who's going to revel in that.
He's also, obviously he missed a chunk of the season because he broke his foot very early on in the season, so that's always tough as a new manager. You're trying to impress them. He didn't get that chance really, so it's been a slow burn for him to try to get back into the starting lineup. He's been making these cameos, but he's been making them count, which I guess is the key thing.
Yeah, he is. He's got to back himself, of course, to break into that starting 11. I think it's going to be difficult and everybody is fit, but he's versatile as well. At a push, you could play him off the flanks as he has done previously under Klopp. But I think he's more suited to more of a kind of central position because he's very smart, like I said, really kind of clever operator. He kind of backs himself, not overawed by the occasion. I think he feels comfortable in this England team, Liverpool team, Liverpool setup. And I do think there's a future for him, not necessarily as a starter, week in, week out, but certainly making an impact and being an invaluable squad member.
So any criticisms of Liverpool tonight, conceding a goal, for example, it's nitpicking really, is it? And the fact that they didn't get out of second or third gear, it's just this is how well they're going at the moment, that they just win their 7th in a row in the Champions League, and it just feels like, so it's against 10 men, so it's a job they have to get done.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, we could nitpick and say Mo Salah at times was frustrating because we know he's such a quality player, and his final ball or his final decision making around the box could have been better as well, perhaps. But he popped up with that brilliant finish in the first half as well. So there's little things you'd want to improve on again. But I think Arne Slot will look at the game and think, we've got through it unscathed. We've got 3 points. We're sitting top of the league. Let's get the roll in the next game. Premier League's coming at the weekend.
Yeah, you're absolutely. I still struggle with it. This tweak in terms of how Liverpool, their style of play. I was such a fan of Klopp and how he set the team up and how they played, that kind of high intensity, getting the ball back to front, dynamic,
But do you think now the reason they're sitting top of the Champions League and sitting top of the Premier League is they've got more control and the likes of Salah?
This is a fair argument.
Do you know what I mean? So where does it sit?
And I don't think this team can play the way that your Klopp asked his players to play in terms of that, the athletes that he had, how quickly they could cover the ground. They're really kind of physical specimen of athletes. Henderson, Wijnaldum, those type of players at their peaks, kind of running machines. This is a different squad which he's inherited. And again, you've got to give Slot credit. He's having a look at it thinking, could I play a slightly different way? Got to play to the strengths of these players. Harvey Elliott, McAllister and kind of centre midfield. Technical players. Got to play a slightly different type of way, which best suits them. And that's what he's doing. He's getting the best out of them. And you're right. They're playing in third gear. It's not hell for leather stuff for 90 minutes. They're conserving their energy. You spoke with Van Dijk. Because say that for a lot of the players, just moving the ball, keeping the ball, saving themselves for what's coming tail end of the season.
Well, one thing that's helped them quite a lot in recent weeks has been the impact of their substitutes. It happened at the weekend with Darwin Núñez. It's happened again with Harvey Elliott. It did his job.
Alex, very well done. How pleased with the efforts tonight?
Yeah, really happy because it was an important game for us to secure the pass to the next round. And we play against a really good team that came here and tried to do the things that they know. So it was a difficult game, but at the end, the most important thing is that we got the result.
Yeah, they've had some big results in this competition this season, beating both the teams from Madrid. What does it say about the fact that you were relatively untroubled by them tonight? You were pretty in control of the game for much of it.
Yeah, as I said, I think they're a really good team. If you see and watch the way they play football, is really nice. It reminds me to Roberto De Servi, one of the coaches that I had, and I share really good memories because of the way they play football. They build up from the back. They try to play the third man, the triangles. Really good. So congratulations to them, because that's not easy to. It's not easy to come to Anfield and do that. So even when they play with 10 men, I think. We struggle a little bit to press, but that's credit to them. We run a lot, we work really hard, and that's why we got the results.
Consistently this season, we are seeing guys come off the bench and play a role in getting the results. What is it that enables the group to do that, do you think?
I think it's the desire and the fire to fight for trophies this year. Of course, it's never easy to be on the bench, but the coach tries to make clear that everyone is really important for the team, and everyone has to contribute, even from the bench. So I really like because as a team, if you wanna compete for trophies, you need players who come off the bench and do the things that we are doing. So really happy for that, and everyone can see that we have a really good team.
Just finally, that's through to the last 16 with a game to spare. How do you approach the final game in Eindhoven next week? Do the players care about finishing top of the group now, given that the table, given that you're already through, or is that irrelevant?
No, of course, every game is important for us. Every game is a possibility to show that we wanna be in the team, we wanna win trophies. So for sure, we are gonna think about Ipswich now, but after we have a really difficult game against PSV. So we will give our best to win that game as well.
Well done tonight.
Thank you.
They don't seem to have the same injury crisis to some extent. Goes to show that what they're doing behind the scenes, how the coach is managing his players, doing really well. For a coach in his first year, and to step into those shoes that Jurgen Klopp left, big. But as you just mentioned, to have 3 big names with uncertain futures, to almost keep that sort of just on the back burner, or keep that, not make that be the main story around Liverpool every week, but their performances and their wins are instead, is really impressive. And I think you almost take it for granted a little bit, because it like the win tonight wasn't easy, and yet ultimately they've racked up another win. They set the tone right from match day 1 in the Champions League when they went away to AC Milan and beat them at San Siro, and it's been just seamless, so smooth.
James, there's rumours that maybe 2 out of the 3 have signed, but the club are keeping it quiet. Have you heard anything along that, or do you think that's possible?
Good question, Karen.
Sorry for Fred, but there's a lot of noise
Spill the beans,
this week,
James.
because he doesn't want to upset the one player that might not have, whoever that might be. I don't know. That's the noise at the moment.
I don't know.
Okay.
So, but I mean, but if anything, I would put that out there.
Would you? Yeah. It's hard to keep a lid on that kind of stuff, isn't it, for any length of time?
I would put that out there. I think the 3 of those players, the way they've actually performed throughout this period. I mean, Salah's probably the only one who's had criticism in terms of coming out and being public, saying, this is my last year at Liverpool, whatever. It hasn't affected his performances.
No.
It's incredible. Sort of professionalism.
And not only do they save themselves the 2 playoff games, of course they play PSV away next week, but in effect that they can do what they like with that. The job is done, so they can play whatever team it suits them with games either side.
Might be nice for Slot, though. I don't know whether there's any...
Yeah.
Don't know. Just throwing a storyline
Back in
for
Holland,
you. Yeah, maybe. Don't know.
Yeah, they got their important winners. We'll see later tonight at Red Star. Right, no doubt for all that everybody wants their team to do well. The game of the night was in Lisbon in what turned out to be torrential